Have you ever looked at our modern calendar and wondered why the week starts on Monday? Or why Sunday is considered a day of rest, even though the original Sabbath day was Saturday? Besides the Seventh-day Adventists, other Christian groups that continue to observe Saturday as the Sabbath include the Seventh-day Baptists and certain branches of the Church of God, such as the United Church of God and the Living Church of God. These groups maintain that Saturday is the true biblical Sabbath and worship accordingly. If that is true, have Christians been worshiping God on the wrong day? We will explore historical texts, religious practices, political maneuvers, and cultural shifts that have shaped how we perceive and measure time today. From the early Christian worship practices to the influence of Emperor Constantine, the role of the Council of Laodicea, the impact of the Industrial Revolution, and various global calendar systems, we will explore how Monday became the first day of the week and why our calendar looks the way it does today. If you find this topic fascinating, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you won't miss out on more captivating insights into ancient knowledge. This video, published in October 2023, shows Mark, who is a realtor who sold a house and discovered a treasure trove of old instruments and books in a back storage room. One of the items was a 1775 King James Version Bible, which clearly shows March as the first month of the year, and 13 months in a year. In the early days of Christianity, followers gathered in small homes to worship on Saturday. Many of the earliest Christians were Jews who naturally continued to observe the Sabbath, the seventh day of the week, as a holy day of rest and worship. This practice was deeply rooted in Jewish tradition, stemming from the fourth commandment that calls for a day of rest in commemoration of God's rest after creating the world. These early Christians would attend synagogue services on Saturday and then gather separately to break bread and commemorate Jesus' teachings and sacrifice. This dual observance persisted, blending Jewish customs with the emerging Christian faith. It was a time of transition and adaptation as followers of Jesus navigated their new identity within the broader Jewish tradition. However, changes were beginning to take shape during this time. The significance of Jesus' resurrection was becoming more prominent, and with it, the seeds of a major shift in worship practices were being sown. Sunday, the day of the resurrection, started to gain importance among Christians, setting the stage for a profound transformation in how the week was structured and observed. The resurrection of Jesus Christ is a cornerstone event in Christian faith, celebrated for its profound spiritual significance. According to the New Testament, Jesus rose from the dead on the first day of the week, which is Sunday. This event marked a turning point for early Christians and led to a gradual shift in their worship practices. Sunday, known as the Lord's Day, began to be observed as a special day to honor the resurrection of Jesus. This new practice started to gain traction among Christian communities by the early 2nd century. Gathering on Sunday allowed early Christians to distinguish themselves from Jewish traditions, reinforcing their identity and beliefs. The shift from Saturday to Sunday worship was not immediate, but evolved over time. As the importance of Jesus' resurrection grew, so did the observance of Sunday as a day of worship and celebration. This change was further solidified as more communities adopted the practice, creating a new tradition that would eventually become widespread throughout the Christian world. This transition from the Sabbath to the Lord's Day was a significant step in the development of early Christian identity and worship, laying the foundation for future changes in the weekly calendar. A pivotal moment in the history of the calendar and the observance of the weekly cycle came with Emperor Constantine's reign in the early 4th century. Constantine, the first Roman emperor to convert to Christianity, played a crucial role in shaping the religious landscape of the empire. In 321 AD, Constantine issued a decree that declared Sunday as a day of rest from labor. This decree was a monumental shift, aligning with the Christian practice of honoring the resurrection of Jesus on Sunday. By officially recognizing Sunday as a day of rest, Constantine provided a legal and societal framework that reinforced the day's religious significance. But Constantine's decision was also influenced by the existing Roman tradition of venerating the sun god, Sol Invictus, on Sunday. By merging the Christian day of worship with the day dedicated to the sun god, Constantine facilitated a smoother transition for pagans converting to Christianity. This strategic move helped unify his empire under a single religious practice, blending elements of paganism with the emerging dominance of Christianity. Constantine's decree not only cemented Sunday as the principal day of worship across the Roman Empire, but also marked a significant step in the evolution of the weekly calendar. His influence ensured that Sunday would become deeply ingrained in Christian tradition and societal norms, paving the way for its continued observance in the centuries to come. The transformation of the weekly calendar did not stop with Constantine. Another significant milestone occurred in the mid-4th century with the Council of Laodicea. This council, convened around 363–364 AD, played a crucial role in formalizing Sunday worship within Christian communities. One of the key canons issued by the Council of Laodicea was Canon 29, which explicitly discouraged Christians from resting on the Sabbath, the traditional Saturday. Instead, the council promoted Sunday as the proper day for rest and worship. This canon stated, "Christians shall not Judaize and be idle on Saturday, but shall work on that day. But the Lord's day they shall especially honor, and as being Christians, shall, if possible, do no work on that day." This decision by the council was pivotal in shifting the focus of Christian worship from Saturday to Sunday. It further reinforced the importance of Sunday, aligning with Constantine's earlier decree and helping to standardize Christian practices across the Roman Empire. The Council of Laodicea's rulings marked a definitive shift in Christian observance, distancing the faith from its Jewish roots and solidifying Sunday as the primary day of worship. This established a pattern that would be followed by the majority of Christian communities, embedding Sunday worship deeply into the fabric of Christian tradition. As centuries passed, the structure of the week continued to evolve, influenced significantly by economic and societal changes. The Industrial Revolution, beginning in the late 18th century, brought about profound shifts in how time was organized and perceived, particularly in the context of work. Before the Industrial Revolution, the work week varied greatly, depending on local customs, agricultural cycles, and religious practices. However, the rise of factories and urbanization necessitated a more standardized approach to labor. Factory owners needed a consistent schedule to maximize productivity and manage their workforce effectively. By the 19th century, the concept of a standardized work week began to take shape, with Monday emerging as the first day of the work week. This shift was practical, providing a clear distinction between the workdays and the weekend. The weekend typically included Sunday, already established as a day of rest and worship, and, in many cases, Saturday as well. The establishment of the Monday to Friday work week was further solidified in the early 20th century. The introduction of labor laws, such as the 8-hour workday and the 5-day work week, aimed to improve working conditions and workers' rights. These reforms reinforced the idea of Monday as the starting point of the work week, providing workers with a regular, predictable schedule. This standardization of the work week had a significant impact on society. It not only structured people's work lives, but also influenced social and cultural practices, embedding the Monday to Friday rhythm into daily life. The clear separation of workdays and weekends became a cornerstone of modern life, reflecting the changes brought about by industrialization and the need for organized labor schedules. Despite the widespread Monday to Friday work week in many Western cultures, not all societies follow the same structure. Various global calendar systems and practices highlight the diversity in time measurement and organization. In many Middle Eastern countries, the week starts on Saturday, with Friday as the holy day for Muslims. Consequently, the work week runs from Saturday to Thursday, with Friday and sometimes Saturday as the weekend. The Ethiopian calendar, still used in the Horn of Africa, consists of 13 months, 12 months of 30 days each, and a short 13th month, Pagume, with 5 or 6 days. This system ties closely to the ancient Egyptian calendar, reflecting historical continuity. The lunisolar Hebrew calendar includes 12 or 13 months to align with the solar year, and is primarily used for Jewish religious observances. The Sabbath from Friday evening to Saturday evening remains central to Jewish life. The Chinese calendar, another lunisolar system, combines lunar months with the solar year to determine traditional festivals like the Chinese New Year. It operates alongside the Gregorian calendar for civil purposes, blending ancient traditions with modern practices. Our modern Gregorian calendar, introduced by Pope Gregory XIII in 1582, replaced the Julian calendar to correct its inaccuracies. The Julian calendar, established by Julius Caesar in 45 BCE, had a slight error that caused it to drift one day every 128 years, misaligning with the solar year and Christian holidays by the 16th century. The Gregorian reform adjusted the leap year system and skipped 10 days in October 1582 to realign with the equinoxes. Although gradually adopted worldwide, some Protestant and Orthodox countries resisted the change, leading to a prolonged period where different calendars coexisted. Political motives also influenced calendar reforms. For example, the French Republican calendar, introduced during the French Revolution, aimed to break from religious and royalist traditions with its 12 months of 30 days each, divided into 3 10-day weeks. Despite its eventual abandonment, it reflects how calendars can signify ideological shifts. Lunisolar calendars, like the Hebrew and Chinese calendars, combine lunar months with the solar year, requiring intercalary months to maintain seasonal alignment. This complexity illustrates the balancing act in timekeeping. Today, while the Gregorian calendar and the Monday to Friday work week dominate globally, diverse historical and cultural practices still influence how societies perceive and measure time, highlighting the ongoing complexity of human timekeeping. Early calendar systems, such as the Egyptian and Sumerian calendars, were developed to align agricultural activities with seasonal cycles. Ensuring that planting and harvest times corresponded with natural seasons was crucial for the survival of ancient civilizations. Many calendar reforms, such as the shift from the Julian to the Gregorian calendar, were driven by the need to realign religious holidays with specific celestial events, like the equinoxes and solstices, which held significant spiritual importance. Calendar reforms often reflected the political power and influence of leaders. Julius Caesar's introduction of the Julian calendar, and later Pope Gregory XIII's implementation of the Gregorian calendar, were both acts that demonstrated their authority and ability to institute widespread changes. Societies became more interconnected. The need for a standardized calendar became apparent. This standardization facilitated trade, communication, and governance across different regions and cultures. Some might argue that changing the calendar could influence how societies synchronize with natural cycles and energies. Some believe that the shift from lunar to solar calendars and the subsequent reforms have disconnected humanity from the natural rhythms of the moon and the earth. This disconnection might be seen as leading to a misalignment with the inherent energies of the universe. There are theories suggesting that changes in the calendar could have been intentionally designed to create a misalignment, either to control societies or to disrupt natural energetic flows. Whether intentional or not, each calendar reform could be seen as having energetic consequences, affecting how societies engage with natural cycles and celestial events. The shift in how we mark time might influence collective consciousness and our connection to natural energies. Now that we've seen how our history of calendar systems shows an evolving effort to organize time, does the Gregorian calendar seem perfect to you, or do you think it will stand the test of time? Do share them in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.